Hi, I'm Amanda Pierce. I'm the Teen Services Coordinator at the Peter White Public Library, and I'm here today to talk to you about some fun books for October that are full of spookiness and lots of good ghost stories. I'm going to start off with the classic Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alan Schwartz. I remember reading these as a kid. They were super creepy then, not as creepy now, but still really fun to read, and they still give you the goosebumps. Also, they did a movie last year, which is just equally as creepy now. So I highly recommend Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Next up on the spooky book list is The Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. It is about a story about some Wiccans. The main one is Milla, and her best friend Riley is found dead around the same time, right after two mean girls from the school are found dead, and she refuses to believe that it was suicide. She believes that they were murdered. So she goes to resurrect her best friend to figure out what really happened. But when she does this, she brings back the other two girls. So it's a story about these four girls trying to figure out what really happened, and it's hilarious, and I don't know, it's just the cover caught my eye because I just love the jean jacket, but it's a tale about friendship, and it was like Mean Girls, Hocus Pocus, The Craft is what all the reviews were saying about it. Oh yeah, and a modern Buffy because she was solving crimes. I don't know, it was thoroughly funny, entertaining, a little bit sad as well at the end. And you figure out what really was truly happening, but overall a really good book. Next up on my list is The Bone Houses. This was a really great book. I read this back in April, and it's about a girl named Wren, and she cares for her family. Sorry, I've got some weird lighting issues going on with the windows in the sun. A girl named Wren who is now in charge of her family, and they bury the dead in their town. The bone houses are the skeletons that come back. And all of a sudden, her town is plagued by the bone houses. And she meets this mysterious guy who's coming to map the area. And so they go out to figure out what's really truly going on with the bone houses. It's a great story. It's a great fairy tale that had a really interesting twist with the horror factor. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend The Bone House. Next up is a recommendation from Sarah, our youth services librarian. She recommended Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare Blake. I've personally never read this one, but she said it was really great. It's about a girl who murders everybody that steps foot in her house, and then there's this guy, his name is Cass, and he helps settle the spirits. And so he was going to go figure out how to get rid of her, basically, from killing people, and she spares his life. So a really great story. Check out Anna Dressed in Blood if you like ghost tales. The next up is, let's see, I love this series by William Ritter, Jacobite. It is Sherlock Holmes meets Doctor Who with a bit of, I don't know, it was just a great book. Jacobite is a supernatural detective, and he takes on an apprentice named Abigail Rook, and they solve crimes. It's a great story. There's 4 volumes in this one. I highly recommend it. Like I said, kind of Doctor Who meets Sherlock, and there's just all sorts of craziness. One of my favorite aspects of this book is the house that they live in, and all the different floors and all the different areas and how everything is in it. It's a really great series. I highly recommend this one. Let's see what I got next on my list. This is another one recommended by Sarah. I haven't personally read this one, but she said it's really good. Name of the Star. It is also known as the Shades of London series by Maureen Johnson. It is set in the time of the Jack the Ripper. Sarah said it was really good, and it was one of those ghost stories and stuff. So here's another ghost story if you enjoy those. Next up is The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek by Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal. I love this book. I could not put it down. It is about three friends who live in this little town, and they are threatened, if you're bad, you're going to go to this school. And it's called Whitewood. And it's the punishment school. Well, their friend Alicia is sent to Whitewood, and they want to figure out what's going on there, and they get a journalist to come in from out of town, and they're set on solving what really happens in Whitewood. It's a really great fast-paced read, and I really hope they write more like this because it was a great book. But yeah, great read, highly entertain it. But yeah, it was really good. Recommend that one a lot. Next up, if you are fans of fairy tales, I highly recommend The House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin Craig. It's a take on the 12 Dancing Princesses and what happens when people make deals. They have lost their mother, and then four of the 12 sisters have died, and they're not sure, the town is pretty sure they're cursed. But one sister, Annalie, is set on figuring out what truly is happening. So it's a great read from beginning to end. Again, couldn't put it down. The imagery was beautiful, and I really enjoyed this book. Something that I haven't read in a long time. And last but not least, this was my big one from last September that I read that I've been highly recommending to kids that enjoy Stranger Things and the weird 80s and 90s genres of movies. The Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart. I hated certain movies growing up. I hated horror movies growing up, but this book I actually really liked. It's about 5 friends who, as kids, put items in this box, and they make a pact to never open the box. Well, somebody opened the box and things are happening, as you can see by the bloody footprints coming from the box. It was creepy, it was eerie, but it was just enough that I actually enjoyed reading it. But I highly recommend this one. Fans of 80s horror, 90s horrors would really enjoy this one. The Sacrifice Box was great. They say on the back of the book, you broke the rules, now you have to pay. Well, this really does go that way in the book. So highly recommend The Sacrifice Box. And that is what I have for scary October books. I'm not a big horror fan, but those are some of the ones I have read and really enjoyed. If you're looking for more horror, scary ghost stories, find us at pwpl.info, and we have lots of other ones. Have a great day. Bye.